art, it's a monotonous. Everywhere we find the Jinnah is standing in two postures looking identical, but not. How? I will show. It was not at all monotonous. Third is that it was non-worldly and spiritual in content only. No art, no craft or nothing, no culture can survive only with that part, because the other part is the realistic aspect of life. So life has to be there. So they have equally contributed to the area of aesthetics. In my recent book on Jain art and aesthetics, I have underlined, and I am happy that respected Dr. Kapila Vasanji has highly appreciated that the aesthetic content of Jain art. So that is there. We have the variety. Then the assimilation. Very assimilative Jainism and Jain art and Jain philosophy also. And therefore we find the figures of Lakshmi, Saraswati, Ganesh, Ashtadikpal, Navagara, they have incorporated everything. And if we start saying that this is Jain, then Ashtadikpalas means the common. From the common cultural stock, every religion, when they become specific in terms of their expression, philosophical expression, visual expression, they take it. So the commonality of Indian culture and art is to be underlined now. Then erotic content. That is also life. When we talk of Purusharthas, Kam is there. So Kam is the essential part. Grihasthashram is the essential part. So how could Jainas refrain from that? Earlier it was thought that they did not give any space to that. But I would show that they did. And they did on the support of the texts. Community I have talked. Then another thing is compositiveness. We were talking about the philosophy. The main philosophy, the core of Indian philosophy was the Advaita. The oneness, Ekam Sat Viprah Bhavadavadana. And its various expressions are only to show us different ways of expressions. So that way the composite images were made. In Vedic Puranic tradition, Ardhanarishwar, and as well as in Jainism, they also, how could they remain away? I will show it. And then the integrated expression of sculpture and architecture. They integrate into one, to become one. So that the entire Jain art I have shown in my article, detailed article, represents the concept of unity, the concept of Advaita, the concept of assimilation. So everything what Indian culture do contain, we do find its expression in different forms of Indian art piece. This is the posture. We all know Dhyana Mudra, very common to Buddhism, common to Vedic Puranic. Shiv is there, Yoga Narayan, Vishnu is there, right? And the other is Kayosarga. Kayosarga means dismissing the body, the denial of the body. And this posture was exclusive. And the Jinas, we do always find only in these two postures is very meaningful. Meaningful because they did not deviate from their main core content of philosophy of Jainism. That was the austerity, renunciation, non-position, which was in the language of art, non-verbal language of art, to be expressed through the postures and gestures. These postures just suggest the highest point of spirituality. I would remind you all that in Buddhism also it started with that. But what happened? Buddha was involved into worldly activities by showing Abhay Mudra. This is He gives, he assures you. Varga Mudra, he performs miracles. The Jainas did never perform miracles even at the time of the inflictions which were caused to them during the course of the tapas. So these are something very peculiar features of the Jain art and which comes from the Jain philosophy, Jain thought. Next please. Now as to the monotony, I have just taken 4 images for 4 different places. You yourself see from Mathura 4th century, from Chausa 2nd century AD CE, then Rishabhnath. It is written here. Then it comes from Khajuraho and it comes from Deoghar. In composition, in face, in every details in the parikar, you can see that no image is exactly similar to the other. So when we talk of monotony, we just see that the postures will remain the same because that represents the philosophy of the Jainas or the Jainism. But so far as the art is concerned, you can yourself see. Beautifully Astu Pratyaharyas are there, the beautiful hollow. You see, the Jata like head decoration is shown with the hair locks, the Navagrahas, Yakshis, and here you see altogether different composition at Deoghar, and at the base you find 2 Upadhyayas holding the manuscript and they are engaged in disputation, Shastra Charcha, under the feet of the Rishabhnath, the first Tirthankar. So they were innovative. No single image is exactly similar to the other Jain image. This is my observation. I have traveled a number of sites. Next please. The same is here with Neminath, the 22nd Tirthankar. You see, from Rajgir, from Mathura, from Deoghar, and it is in Cleveland Museum. Neminath is represented in 4 different ways. Here he stands on the conch. Conch happens to be his cognizance. Neminath has a kinship with the Vaishnav family, Balaram and Krishna, and therefore you see Balaram and Vasudeva Krishna. I won't call Vishnu. Then here again Balaram, Halgar, Vasudeva Krishna. And on account of these, we could identify Neminath. So they were innovative and they developed a very assimilative and cordial, harmonious relationship with the parallel religions. And here also the conch. Conch also is a Vaishnav. Next please. Parshvanath from 4 different places. It comes from Khajuraho, Deoghar, Umcha in Karnataka, then again Aiholi, and this is from Ranakpur. You yourself now decide where is the monotony. And here you find Parshvanath just bearing undergoing the inflictions caused by the Devan Kamat all along. But he remains unshaken. In case of Buddha, you know that he performed miracles. Bhumisparsh Mudra then only came. Here also, the upsargas are going on. In that, those movements also he remained completely in trance meditation. This is Kayasa. And here you see this beautiful, you can see the artistic excellence. Parshvanath and just Nag-Nagis with interwoven coils. So you can see the beauty and aesthetic aspect, even in case of, and I just think the highest beauty is the spiritual beauty. The highest beauty is in this peace. Next please. That is there. Mahavir. The same thing, 4 different images, 5, 6 different, from different places, and with different composition, representation, cognizance is coming out, lion, Mahavir. Here you see, the sun and moon are represented. Savassa go, which was an auspicious symbol, is represented with, and the elephant. And sun and moon, we know, to suggest the timelessness and the impact of the preachings of Buddha in terms of timelessness is being suggested through this symbolic. So they were innovative, they were making all the changes you yourself can see. Now assimilation. This is an image of Sthona Narsingh, wherein he kills the demon Hiranyakashipu. Very forceful image, one of the most magnificent and important image which comes from Jain context. It is in the Vimal Vasahi, 12th century. This is Vimal Vasahi, Vaishnava affiliation. Not only Balaram and Vasudeva Krishna were assimilated, but you see, the incarnated form was assimilated.
Which place?
Vimal Vasahi, Mount Abu, in the city. And here you see again from Vimal Vasahi, this is the representation of the Krishna playing holy with Gopikas. And perhaps to my mind, I don't know, the scholars of painting will tell me, this happens to be the earliest representation of holy in Indian art which comes from Jain context. If it is to be contradicted, I would appreciate. That will be an information. Neminath you have seen. Here comes Ram on Parshvanath Jain temple, Khajuraho, holding an arrow, standing with Sita. And what is beauty of Jain art, you see, is Vinay Murti Hanuman standing. This. Enjoying the blessings of Ram, his hands you see, the fingers you see, in Palit Mudra. So affectionate, the fingers here speak, and Hanuman has to be smaller and smaller and smaller, because Vinay makes you. So this is art itself speaks, and here is Sita, Hanuman reaches in Ashoka Vatika, that episode in Jain context from Parshvanath Jain temple, next 10th century. Now the beauty, divine grace, Saraswati, earliest you have seen 132 CE. From Khajuraho you see Saraswati, Veena Vadini Saraswati, holding manuscript. One of the most magnificent representation of Saraswati now in National Museum, coming from Pallu in Rajasthan, manuscript, you can see. So beautiful in marble. Again from Vimal Vasahi, this from Khajuraho, Devgarh, and this is Devgarh. Because Saraswati is the personification of Jinvani, the words or the preachings of the Jinas, of the Tirthankaras. And therefore, she has been accorded such an exalted position that here she occupies a position equal to the Tirthankaras in an image. So image speaks of the status of the goddess of learning, Vagdevi Jinvani. She comes together with the Jinas. Next please. All these are discussed in my article. Now Vedic Puranic deities in Jainism, again assimilation. Ganesh is there. A number of figures we find. And textual reference we do find in Acharya Dinkar and all that, Jain text, as to the representation of Ganesh. Kuber. Verse. So beautiful, you see. Here you see how graceful is the figure of Ganesh from Ellora, cave 32. Here is Abhishek Lakshmi. Usually we call Gaj Lakshmi, but there is no word Gaj Lakshmi. She should be called textually Abhishek Lakshmi. Dikpal. So after Agastya Dikpalat, I have just taken one Ishan, and here Navagrahas on the lower litter with the Jain Yakshi. So this kind of assimilation, and assimilation in terms of commonality. Did we ever we talk of Hariti, we talk of Kuber in Jain, in Buddhist, no, common, because Lakshmi and Saraswati, they represent the two most essential need of human life. The money, prosperity, and the jnana. Without jnana, you can't do anything, knowledge. So they have to be taken by all. And likewise, Kuber has been taken. So it becomes, and third is the mother, so we were talking, the highest point. So mother becomes Ambika in Jain context, Uma or Parvati in Brahmanical Vedic context, and Hariti in Buddhist context. The commonality also. So we must make study in terms of a holistic perspective and the commonality. Next please. You see, this is the exterior wall of the Parshvanath Jain temple of 954, later half of 10th century. You see, Lakshmi Narayan, Vishnu, Khajuraho, Balaram, Revati, Shiva, as well as, you see, the loving couples, the Vidyadharas, and the dance and music. So the life is there, the assimilation is there, and now we say that Jain means confinement. No confinement. I would just take 1 minute. The Kushan inscriptions on Jain images, what do they say is very important. I have given. They say that this particular image of Saraswati, on the image of Saraswati also it is mentioned, the Tirthankaras, that these were made for the welfare and happiness of all. Sarva Sat Sukhaye, ऐसे करके पूरा एक inscription है that these are made for the welfare and happiness of all. If all, how can we make confinement? Is it not imposition of our conservative, confined thinking to the past? So we are imposing ourselves on the past. Past was broadened. We are room culture now. Next, please. This assimilation you see on the temple. The Parshvanath, the highest